welcome once again to another instalment of my Source Vintage YouTube channel. Now, we're in the studio today because there's some works going on next door and it's creating a bit of noise. But excuse the background, this is all about antiques. We're chatting antiques. This week, I've got a very special instalment for you. A few weeks back, I had an Instagram live chat with the one, with the only, the legend that is Higham from BBC One antique show The Bidding Room, and of Hoof Bracants, his antiques business. We talked about all things antiques. We talked about The Bidding Room. We talked about my guest appearance on the first ever season of The Bidding Room, where I took an item on. I'm not going to tell you too much now. You have to watch and find out. But it was great fun. He's a great guy. He's helped me so much. So, without further ado, here's my chat with the man himself, Higham.
If you knew 2 seconds before we were like stuffing our dinner down. Right, you may or you may not know, we've got a really brilliant chap coming on with me tonight. Steve, from Source Vintage. This is going to be really fun. And there is the huge, big, what are they going to call it? Confession. Got a huge confession to make. And I don't know whether Steve is going to be cross or what. But because I did promise him something on The Bidding Room. And I have kept my promise. I have kept it. Steve, press that famous button. Hi, mate. Hi, Colin. How are you? Good to see you. Everybody's here, bar Steve. I'm always sitting on my own. I didn't eat an egg. No. Poor Philip. Why? Oh, no, poor Philip. Oh, gosh, yes, absolutely. Sorry. Yeah. Source Vintage. Hang on. Viewer request. Going to go live with Steve. Oh, he's going to be wacky. He's ripped his shirt, everything. Steve, where are you, mate? Waiting. Hello, buddy.
Hey!
Hey!
Edie, how you doing?
How the devil are you, mate? Look at that.
Very
we always
well.
do that. Then we get hands, don't we? We get hands appear on the screen because we don't look right.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. I've just got to stuff my dinner down very, very fast.
Me too. I've just had a massive pizza, so I'm. You know.
Oh, don't. No, we had this Moroccan chicken thing, and it was 2 minutes to 7:30, and I was like, and I just had to throw everything over there. Listen, we can't start without saying, you know, really sad day, Prince Philip. Yeah. Terrible.
Had to happen horrible. Today, didn't it? You know, I
got
really bad
I'm on
for
the radio
this.
today, and it was just, gutting. But you know, he wouldn't want it to be a sad day. So let's.
Well, that's
let's
it. That is very true.
Did you see we did a low flyover of our Spitfire?
I did see it, and I was zooming in on the picture to see if there was any sort of repainting or more damage than there was before.
Okay, shall we have a chat first, then I'll reveal my confession.
Okay. Well, should we set the scene then? Should we sort of explain what happened?
You explain. Let you do it.
Yeah. So I was invited on to The Bidding Room with it was a Perspex model plane that was made during World War II from the windshield of a plane used during that time, and it's my favourite find, my best ever find. And I went on to the show not really wanting to sell it. I was told that I didn't have to sell it. I'm gutted I did sell it because I don't think I'll find another one. But yeah, went on to the show, and do you know what happened before I went into The Bidding Room?
Well, I found out of somebody that apparently Simon broke the wings off it.
Oh my God. So my most treasured possession and find. I go into the valuation, and I'm so nervous when I go in there, and I pass the plane to Nigel, and Nigel's loving it, and then he passes it to Simon, and Simon just starts juggling it, and then it just falls onto the wooden table, and it just splits in two, and I'm like, oh God. So I went from not wanting to sell it to thinking I'm just going to take whatever I can get for it now.
Well, if I remember rightly, we had we had a voice come into the room saying that the next item had been broken, but it didn't.
Oh, well, it was the way you were all passing it between each other in like bits. Like, oh,
Right. Well, okay. So we had this thing come through, and we said that the item was had been damaged, so to be really, really careful with it. So of course, when this thing came in, my heart started pounding because we're thinking, "Oh shit! If we break this, we've got to buy it anyway." You know? And you seemed really serious. You were quite scary.
well, I was about to cry. My prized possession had just been broken.
Yeah.
You
Honestly,
should have seen me when I was in the valuation room with Simon and Nigel. I mean, as soon as that dropped on the table, my bottom lip started quivering. I was like,
oh no. Well, of course, you completely flummoxed us because, of course, we got this thing in front of us, and I think I said something like ridiculous because it looked like stone. It did look like some kind of stone or something. Then I felt such a prat for saying that, and of course they kept that in, which is bloody ridiculous. But and then when it started, so it come in, and it was just like, well, it's a Spitfire plane. It's nice, but you know, there's got to be something more about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the more it unveiled, and then when you came out and said what it was, I mean, that was it. I was going to own it, and of course, I knew you didn't want to let it go. And being a dealer, we were going to get it as cheap as we could, but you did all right. I'm going to have to do the reveal now. I'm going to have to tell you.
Oh God,
what happened. So after
it wasn't dropped again. It wasn't Nigel. He didn't drop it, did he?
Well, what happened was we have to go from the start. You see, so I got up that morning and I was running short of trousers, right? So I'd got a pair of trousers in my case, which were a little bit too big. So hence the fact that day on filming, I didn't get up very much because I knew my trousers were going to fail me, you see. So the last thing you said to me, so I gave the big thing saying, look, I work off a RAF base, which is absolutely true. And they used to crash land the Spitfires on our base. So 100% true.
Yeah,
so I said to you, look, see if it win your heart. I'm going to put this on my desk and it's going to live with me forever. And that was true. So you went off and we're going, oh, God, what a fantastic item. So Nigel comes in all excited and he's now turned into a hurricane. And he's going around the studio, you see. So production said, Adi, why don't you chase him? So Nigel Havers, he's running around the studio like a madman with his arms out. And I've got this plane and I'm going, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, right? And as I did that, my bloody trousers fell down. So my trousers fell down. So it was either grabbing my trousers or the plane. And so anyway, look, it's all right. Look at it. Look, it's okay. So we've got a bit of a gun missing here, but I think that was missing before.
Yes, yeah, it was.
I think, did we have a prop before?
No.
Okay, so it's okay. I haven't lied to you.
Yeah. So
there's nothing to reveal.
Right. So when we saw it on TV.
What, broken? But anyway. So
I don't know if I can carry on.
But anyway.
Oh my God, it's like a pack of cards.
But anyway.
Oh my God.
But anyway, being typically British, it went back together. It goes back very, very quickly. So what I've got now is some very, very special glue. And it's going to be put back properly, perfect. And I'm going to get a guy to remake the bits on the front, the gun things.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to have a prop made for the front. And then you're going
to sell it back to me.
I feel really bad, actually. So I'll tell you what the deal is. I'm going to ask you, how old are you? How old are you?
37.
37.
Okay. 3 years' time.
For your 40th birthday, I'll give it you back.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
The date, your 40th, we're live, we're saying it. On your 40th birthday, I will give you that as a birthday present.
It'll be wrapped up in something.
I'll wrap it
Oh,
up and it'll
no
be back
way.
to it. So you can have it back, I promise you. I generally feel as though you were gutted when you sold it.
I've been gutted, ever since. I don't think I'd find another one.
No. I to be honest with you, it wasn't until I've had so much fun with it. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was so upset when I left, and this is absolutely true. I was so upset when I left filming. I got back, and then in the van was a box, and somebody had sold. I bought this plastic train thing with drinks and stuff in it. It was so naff, and we were going to give that to Claire, our producer, for a birthday present, and it got broken. So that got broken as well. So that and the plane was in this box, and I kid you not, it stayed in the van. And when I went up for filming 2, it was filming series 2. It was still in the van. I didn't take the van out of filming, but that was still in the van, broken. And when I was ill in hospital, Tara found it for me and put it all back together, and told me that she'd put the plane back together. Of course, I didn't know whether there was anything missing of it or not. But I think it's pretty much as it was. We got all the bits. I mean, Nigel was on his hands and knees, gutted, because we knew what it meant to you.
Well, so, he already saw it broken once.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
but so I've had so much fun with it. I was going to mount. I was going to do all sorts of stuff to it, but no.
Have you found anything out about it?
I can't find anything about it.
I
mean,
I can.
100% it is from a Spitfire. 100%.
Yeah.
I'll tell you for why I know, because if you ever get a chance to come down to our place, our walls in the RF base are painted in original Spitfire paint. So we've left it. So even every year when the damp gets in, we just leave it. So all our walls are just covered in paint that was painted on the Spitfires. And it matches absolutely 100%. So it's got to be what it is. It's so 100%. So we've just sort of enlightened its history. We've given it, a bit of realism, what it actually felt like to sort of a Spitfire to.
You just aged it a little bit more, gave it a bit of a kick about.
So it's had its own bidding room Havers battle, and it's won. It came out because Nigel's Lancaster or whatever it was he was flying doesn't exist anymore, and we've still got the Spitfire. So in true British spirit, it survived.
So when we watched it on TV, it looked like it had been glued back together. Did they refilm you sort of passing it between each other, holding?
Really, really carefully, because we didn't actually. It survived. We didn't. We had to put it all back together carefully because that's why we had to get all the bits, because obviously we then had to film that plane back as one again, we just sat there going, he'll go mad.
Yeah, well, this is what, because I told all my friends that I told them this. Well, I mean, it is funny now. I look back. At the time, I was devastated. But I told them that what had happened, and then they watched the show and they were like, "Well, no, you must have made that up just to be funny. It's all in one piece." But I thought that. Yeah.
No, it broke. It's in about 7 pieces actually. But honestly, it got so emotional in there because we just knew what it meant, and I just bought it for 110 quid or whatever it was.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
I mean, it was brilliant. So I couldn't go along anymore without telling you this.
Well, thank you for telling me, and. If you are going to send it to me on my phone.
No. Your 40th birthday, you'll have it back. That's a present from us.
That is amazing. Honestly, that is amazing because I think about it every day.
You might get it before. I've sent it you before. I tell you what. Listen, do you want me to glue it back together, or do you want to glue it back together? And I'll send it you. You can have it. Get it back. I've enjoyed it. I've so loved owning it. And it won't be far away. I know you've got it back, so I can see it another day.
It's up to you. You know, if you
I'll send you back as it is, and then
bless
you
you.
can see how it's been made. Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it is quite unbelievable. But if
Well,
I
I
ever
mean,
want to feel it and touch it, you have to invite me for tea.
I don't think you'd find another one. Simon said that he'd only ever seen one other in his time of dealings.
It's really funny because I did start looking into it because you know, you get all these anoraks on planes and stuff.
Yeah.
And the guy did contact me, and he said that it wasn't a Spitfire, it was something else.
Yeah,
And
this is what people have said to me. They've been split. Some people are saying it's a Spitfire, others are saying it's a Hurricane. But...
Hurricane, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I disagree. I just think it's a Spitfire. You know, in my heart, it's a Spitfire. That's what that's to me what it is. But even the graphics, everything, the way it's been made, I cannot imagine how it's been done. And I think that's what I love about this job, how something like that has been made. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But
it's like that piece of perspex from that windshield. You know what?
I know. What has that?
You know what has it seen? You know, it's
I
just.
know. I know. You know, the one thing I always remember, my gran gave me a mirror years ago, and she said to me, "Don't ever sell that, because when you look in it, you'll always see me, you'll always see your granddad, you'll always see all your family that have all looked into that mirror every morning, going out to work, going to a wedding." And it was a lovely, lovely thing. I got nearly 200 quid for it.
Did you smash that as well?
No, I didn't sell it. It was in it went into a unit lockup when I moved to France, and the lockup got broken into, and I lost all the bloody stuff, including that mirror. So my grandma will forgive me. Yeah, somebody just saying how many crashes that little plane had. Well, you know, planes only normally have one, but this has had several. The two. You never know, though.
I can't believe Nigel was involved again.
Yeah, but what you can't. I mean, the thing is, I'm only assuming because that's made out of the shield of a Spitfire. Perhaps the Spitfire already crashed anyway.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't got a clue. I hope it didn't, because if it had, then probably somebody lost their life. I don't know, but I mean, the mystery in that piece is fascinating. But it belongs with you. You found it. It belongs with you. You know, it's been back to the RAF base, and it's had a bit of fun, and I've enjoyed it immensely. But it belongs with you.
Bless you.
But then you'll no doubt come back on the bidding room and sell it to me again for 200
Yeah,
quid.
that's a good
Then
idea.
I'll give you it back, and then it'll all be emotional again, and then it'll. Anyway, I've got to ask you, what is all this about? All the stuff you do for the Back for the Trade. I mean, you've interviewed me, you've done a blog for me, you did one for Kate. Tara hasn't done hers yet, as I will say.
So I know she's been busy. I know she's been busy looking after you. Putting up with you.
Putting up with me, yeah. Right. So what is all that about? Because that is just great. I just love it. love it.
Well, I tell you what, during the first lockdown, I used to work at an antique centre, and I lost my job, and I'd been doing a bit of dealing whilst working there, and I thought, I'm just going to give it a go. I'm going to go full-time antiques dealer and see what happens. So I set about building my own website, and lockdown gets a bit tedious, so I thought I'm going to start a blog, and I was coming up with ideas of what I can write about, and because you couldn't go anywhere, I thought, what can I write about? And then I thought, do you know what? It'd be amazing to see if I can interview some antique legends off TV, thinking that nobody would even give it a second look, and it's been absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
But I mean,
I just can't believe that the people that have responded. It's just.
But you've had some really big names on there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so interesting how they see the business. You know, it's lovely because you see these people on the TV and you think, crikey, do they live any different to it? And they don't really. So we're all doing the same thing.
That's why a lot of the. Sorry, my phone is falling.
Yeah, mine's naff as well. I always look fat when I do these. You don't look fat, by the way. I mean, it's a compliment.
Jenny said you're not safe tied up.
Was that?
Simply Chateau, your naked parachuter, has just
Oh,
said-
yes, we've got Simply Chateau on, who's the naked parachuter from France.
She says you're not safe tied up. You break everything.
I'm not so tight. I don't break anything. I broke. Yeah, go on. I broke it. Yeah, sorry. We butted in. Go on. Go on.
What was I saying?
I don't know.
The blogs.
Oh, the blogs.
The blog.
People.
Oh yeah, so a lot of people have responded, particularly to your blog, by the way.
Really?
I don't know what's yeah.
Why?
Great response. Everybody's commenting. The only problem I find is that people think that my website is your website.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing that it's an interview that I've done, they think that it's your website. So they're sending me all sorts of inquiries and, you know, all sorts of bits and pieces and, you know, personal messages. And I'm like, oh, that's, you know.
Oh, lovely.
Listen.
You got quite the fan club out there, AD.
I had the most beautiful message the other day. I had a lady send me, because I get hundreds and hundreds of messages a day, which is great. I love it. And I try and respond to them all as well. But I had a lovely lady message me a few weeks ago, and she'd got all this stuff to sell, you know, and it come through. And because I don't know what to do with the messages, because they just get lost. So last week I had Tara was going out. I had this phone call off this lady. I can't remember her name, but she was lovely. Anyway, we chatted for nearly an hour. She was so much fun. And it was so much. And I thought, well, you know, I was trying to work out how old she was, you know, and I didn't want to ask her, but I knew she was, you know, elderly. And then about an hour later, I got this beautiful message from her saying that she was 90. And when her husband was alive, she used to say flirting and flattery was okay as long as you didn't inhale. And I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. So I've got this lovely 90-year-old lady that sends me messages and rings me up, and it's just the stories. And I think that's what comes into this business, well, the stories that we all have. And I think that's something that can never die, the art of storytelling.
Well, that's it. But a lot
and
of
I
the
think
people
that's why I like what you do. You know?
Well, a lot of the people that have responded to the blogs have said that they like the fact that it normalises the people from the TV.
Yeah,
it sort of just makes them feel more down to earth, and you know. So I'm going to continue doing it if I can. Sorry, this is if I can get more people.
You're a bit fussy with your phone, aren't you? You're a bit fussy with your phone. It is very weird. I find it really, really strange because it is a given, isn't it? I mean, I was at Cowdrey 2 or 3 years ago, and I had this lady trying to buy something off me, and a good friend of ours from Wedding and Worn was standing on the store next door to me, and she was going, "That's Keeley Hawes," you see, and I'm like, "What?" And of course, Keeley saw. She looked round and saw Maddie doing this, and I'm like, I hadn't got a clue who she was, you know. And everybody else was in awe of this woman, you know. And I'd sold her this great big galvanised shower tray. So I'm on the phone to Tara going, "Have you heard of somebody called Keeley Hawes?" And she goes, "Oh my god!" And of course, then Hugh Bonneville walked through, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I mean, they're just normal people, but the TV makes them into these. And I don't get it with me, because I'm now doing this show, and you know, I ring people up. I mean, we have things come up with the fan club that people say, "Oh, could somebody just send a message saying happy birthday to my wife or my gran or whatever?" And I private text them and just say, "Look, if you want to give me their number, I'll ring them up and wish them happy birthday." And then I feel as though I'm being a bit sort of big-headed.
No, but that's why you're super popular on the show. It's because you are so down to earth. You know, you're a good guy. You don't pretend to be anything else. And I think it's true with a lot of.
I'm not allowed to be any. My agent has told me that my feet are firmly planted. But I love it. I am so humble, the fact that people come up to me, and I do love it. I do, and I can't say I don't. I really do love it. But what I find really funny is I had a guy contact me a few days ago, and his wife Shauna, it was her birthday, and he said, "Oh, you know, she's had a bit of bad luck. Could you ring her up and wish her a happy birthday?" So at 1 minute to 9, our alarm went off, and I was going, "You got to ring Shauna, you got to ring Shauna." So I'm ringing this girl up, and she was at the end of the phone going, "Oh my god, it's not, it can't be, it's not." And I'm like, "Blimey, it is." And you have to remember that people watch the TV. And they see these people on there, and they do. All of a sudden, you're this this
Well,
friend of theirs that's on TV.
to be fair, I was a bit like that today with you, but also when you put me in contact with Charles Hanson,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
oh, it's.
It's bonkers, isn't it?
Well,
I
I was so nervous because I
Really?
respect him. I respect, he's somebody I respect
Yeah,
in the industry, and
yeah,
you see him on TV all the time. He does some great things, and
yeah.
to speak to him on his mobile, it was like, this is not real.
No,
I thought you
I
were
know.
stitching me up.
No, I wouldn't do it. We've got a few more lined up for you as well.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. Did Jonathan get in touch with you?
Yes, yeah, I've got his. This is going to be the next one.
Fantastic. I mean, the thing is also, you have to remember that they, they're, people are very flattered if you ask that, somebody wants to do a blog on them, anybody that would ever turn around and say no, then I wouldn't have time for them, because oh yeah, I'm not having a guitar because she's not done it as yet. No, we've got some more really nice ones lined up for you, belters.
That's
real
amazing. That is amazing. But that's one thing I wanted to say tonight was, thank you so much for all of your support and everything that you've done. I really, really appreciate it. You've helped me out a lot.
Well, great, thank you. I mean, but you did that blog on me, and it was great. And the amount of people that contact me after it is just great. And I mean, that's how I think that's how it should go. It's sort of will. I mean, it's just brilliant. I was going to say something then, but we'll get Nigel for you. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
I've got a few questions I want to put.
Yeah. About that. Well, for God's sake, do not ask him what his favourite shampoo was, because Nigel Havers, for me, I've met quite a few people, and Nigel Havers was one I knew I was going to struggle with, because it doesn't matter how smart I was going to dress, I was never ever going to look, because he wears a bloody bin liner and he'd look dapper. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, he had some very big white trainers on though, didn't he?
Oh yeah, no, they're brilliant. He can't.
What size feet
change those now? He can't change those now. They asked him to down to sort of what's the word? They wanted a sort of a more approachable character. So he went, I know what to do. And he came in with the white trainers on, and he can never. But now you watch the catwalk. We were watching the catwalks the other day, and all these models came on in suits, and they've got white trainers on. That started with our Nigel.
Oh my God.
But we all met. So all the crew, we all went up to Halifax and to meet him. And when he first walked in, I mean, we was just getting drinks. And when he walked, he didn't have a clue. The show was brand new. He didn't know who anybody was.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that. I just thought, well, he's going to know who we are because he must have seen something. But of course he hasn't. So I just bombarded straight up to him, put my hand out and went, oh, God, nice. I think you're brilliant. Fantastic. But how come you wear Boots shampoo, And he just looked at me blankly and just went, what? And the day before, he did an interview with Steve Wright on Radio 2. And that was one of Steve Wright's questions. He said, actually, I suppose you use some fantastic shampoo from some fantastic blooming, something from Jamaica that's been rolled on thighs of whatever's. And he went, no, I get it from Boots. And so that's the first thing I thought of asking him. And everybody just looked at me as if to say, what a brat. But now we've become, really, really good mates, so it's cool.
He is another legend. I think you've got a really good group of people on the bidding room, and I think that's why it's been so successfwe really.
The thing is, it's very approachable at home as well.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't want, and one thing I certainly didn't want, and one thing production are very good at, they want it to be as though the people at home can do exactly what we're doing. So as soon as you start having items on there that are thousands and thousands of pounds, all right, you're going to get the odd item, you're going to get that. But when something comes on for 20 quid, 30 quid, novelty items, not antique, funny items, people can relate to that at home. Yeah. And that's what I think where it wins. And it's like, obviously, the repair shop is very much the same thing. We've all got something that you think, oh, God, I'd love to have that restored. And I think it's just something, I always compare it with Top Gear. I love Top Gear.
Yeah.
But I can't go out and afford a Ferrari and take it to Botswana and take it through a river, and it's all fantasy stuff. Where we in the BBC are very good at telling us, because every now and again you'll hear me and the other dealers going, just have a look at home, just go through your drawers, look in the cupboard, see what you've got, because realistically, most people have got something they can, either research or get a valuation of, or it's. We wanted to keep it really homely,
But you have no idea what's coming through that door. You don't get given a heads up or anything. It's just like
no. Well, I tell you how serious it is. How serious that comment is. Obviously, when the show was brand new, we knew nothing, because obviously it was all brand new and we hadn't seen anything, so we didn't know how it was going to work. So of course, then when people start contacting you, they'll contact you and they'll say, "Oh, I've got this and I've got that," and they send you a picture of it. So then I ring production and go, "Look, we've got this and I've got that," and they go, "AD, you've seen it. We can't do it. You can't do it." And they are so strict. Honestly, it is, and it's one thing that people say to me, "Oh, you must see the item before." No, we don't. At all. We have no idea. All right, Simon, I don't really know. I mean, they get to research, I guess, things I don't know. Perhaps they know what's coming. I don't know. It's that good, because we don't know what that room's doing to our room. You've been in that other room. I haven't.
Yeah.
We're not allowed in.
Really?
No. I've never seen Nigel and Simon work. It's kept totally separate. And all you guys also, I didn't know, are kept. You're on a hotel up on the Pennine Wayways, away from us. We could never work out why all the people that come on the show, we never see you. We never bump into you. And you're in a hotel away from us. You're kept apart from us. It works fantastically. It's incredible, the work that goes, especially with the COVID,
Were you, I think you were. Did you do the one where the Victorian doll's head moulds came in?
Yes.
And it was quite an intense battle that you had. Or who was it that bought them in the end?
James Goode.
Yes, yeah. So that was my friend, George.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, me being, because I shouldn't let too many secrets out, because it was obvious they was something to do with dolls and obviously mould things, but then I look at stuff and I think, oh, I know, it looks too real. It looks too new. So then my little head goes thinking, oh, is this reproduction? And then, of course, James Gooch, being the geek that he is, goes, no, it's blah, 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 because he's dead clever. And I knew I couldn't make it into a lamp, so I was completely knackered. But they were cool items. I think he's still got them because they fascinate him,
Yeah.
But no, that was a good. There's lots of stuff that's gone through that I've let go. I wished I hadn't,
Well, tell me about it.
But I mean, that's the problem with our business, isn't it? I mean, it's like that with the plane. It's absolutely obvious that you didn't want to sell it.
Well, there's like you say, there's some pieces that you don't want to let go, but then you
wants to put smarters in. Sorry, somebody just said we wanted to put smart. We did want to put smarters in them. Yeah, we did. But anything, I want to put smarters in everything. So.
But yeah, it's normally sort of, if you let something go, then you then have a new favourite that you find. But with this plane, AD, I don't know. I don't think, like I said, I don't think I'd find another one.
No, I don't.
And it's
no,
you keep thinking about the potential story behind it.
I know. I mean, you think that somebody has looked through that. And they would have looked at is something that we're never, ever, ever going to see.
Yeah.
And you listen to these, you listen to all the stories of the Spitfires, and the average age of a pilot was 18, 20 years of age. Yeah. And they reckon that the average life expectancy was 3 weeks. I mean, for God's sake, I mean, that is just, it is just but there again, somebody said earlier on, we're watching history unfold and how much history we had unfold. I mean, like today, with that happening today and the pandemic. I mean, my God, we did the Black Plague or whatever it was in school when I was a kid. I can't remember it, but I know we did it. But that is something you think, blimey, that's never going to happen. We've just lived through it. We're still living through it. We know people that have died from it. And it's really unbelievable when you actually think how, you sit and you think in 100 years' time or 200 years' time, people are going to be looking back and gone, you remember that lad that took that plane on that thing and he cried his eyes out and that big fat fella gave it him back. What a bloody pansy. We're going to make history. This video will make history.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you another story. Well, in my early sort of dealing days, I went through a phase of just buying sort of curious items. I had no idea what they were, but they were just like conversation starters.
Yeah.
And I found an item at a boot sale, and I had no idea what it was. All I was told was that it was Victorian and it was French, and It was like a brass cylinder with a little flappy lid, and it had a mechanical handle on the front and like a hose. And I thought, well, it must be something for the garden. But because it was French, I thought, I'm going to hit some of the French cafes and restaurants in York and see if they're interested in buying. It might be a nice display piece.
Yeah.
So I'm going round these places with this piece, and everybody's like, no. And I thought, I need to do some more research on this. And I had no idea. It turned out to be a Victorian mechanical douche to freshen up your downstairs. And I'm going to all these restaurants thinking, oh yeah, that'll look right nice on a table over there, you know. So yeah.
I
do
love
your
that.
research before you try selling anything.
No, absolutely.
Very important.
That is a great story. Listen, we're going to have to do this again. It's been great fun.
It has been good fun.
Look at that. Half an hour's gone. I know, it's been brilliant.
Is it gone already? Anyway,
yeah.
let me so people, because I see a few people have asked where they can find the blog.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
So my website is source source-vintage.co.uk, and you'll be able to find everything there. I've also just started a YouTube channel.
Have you?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to YouTube you.
It's a bit of an experience, but you know, I'm getting into. I've just done my second video, so I'm talking about interesting finds and stuff. So,
oh, wicked! I like it.
Yeah,
excellent.
So, yeah,
well, I'm going to put this video up anyway, so I'll put your details up on the blog anyway, on my thingy, Instagrammy thing, whatever you call it. But when we've put this down, DM me your address and I'll send you the
pieces.
I'll send you. Yeah, but you'll have fun putting it back together. Then you'll feel even closer to it. All right, mate. Listen,
Look, it's been an absolute pleasure, AD. Thank you so much for all your support. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Do it again soon, mate.
Yes.
Take care, Steve.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, mate. Ciao. Bye.
Well, that's it for this week, folks. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. He's a great guy. If you're interested in more things that I do, things that I sell, please head over to my website, which is source-vintage.co.uk. I'll put all the links below for you. I'll also put all the links below for AD's social media channels, so you can check those out. I also write a blog on a Monday, a weekly blog, so whilst you're at my website, go check that out. I have guest interviews with celebrity antique dealers, reviews of shops, tales of the antiques trade, and stories of interesting things that I found. So if that's up your street, then go subscribe to that and check out my shop whilst you're there. You might find something that you like. You never know. Go check it out. But until next time, take care, keep buying those antiques, and I'll see you soon.